Hello and welcome to an historical TSL Talk. We've gone from the industrial heartland of Macquarie Street down to the latte-sipping Salamanca. Unfortunately though, we've still got the same old talent. Adam, welcome to a historical TSL Talk.
Yes, it's kind of exciting, new studio, a few teething problems, but I'm sure in the coming weeks we'll get there and we can bring some sort of production that may get us an Emmy or something along those lines down the track.
Yes, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Anyway, to the footy. Big game last night, Clarence and Glenorchy. And for the second time in a row, Glenorchy have got the wood over Clarence.
Yeah, look, this is a bit of a turn-up. I thought that after the first time, Clarence would certainly be a lot more switched on and ready to come and play and worked a few things out and China Payne's 200th. But Glenorchy have definitely got the wood on them, and it's probably thrown a cat amongst the pigeons in the finals race.
And full credit to Glenorchy. It was a Monday night fixture. It was very chilly out at Glenorchy, but they still got 3,000 people to turn up to not only watch the game, to watch Geelong power forward Cameron Mooney in action.
Yeah, absolutely. I said you were there. I mean, you can probably give us a bit more of a rundown of the game. It looks like he was a bit rusty, but sort of did a few things in the last quarter that helped him get over the line.
Yeah, he did. He was certainly he didn't contribute a lot with the ball in the first half, but he did create space. He used his body really well to clear out passages of so Glenorchy could get the ball deep in the forward line. But the further the game went, the better he got, and he was leading up hard at the ball in the last quarter. And was really instrumental because the game was still on the line at three-quarter time.
What do you think it means now for the finals race? I guess, you wrote today, they've beaten Clarence twice, they smashed Lauderdale last weekend, pushed Lauderdale and Burnie, probably should have beaten Burnie up at three-quarter time. Are they a genuine chance?
Well, if they play like they did last night, they could really do some damage. But the other issue is, if they play like they did last week against North Hobart, well, they won't beat anyone. So if they turn up to, the old saying, if they turn up to play, anything can happen. They certainly got some skills. They've got some really good players in good form. Joe Bowden is probably the best player in the competition at the moment. They've got a potent forward line. David Hunt's looking dangerous down there. Obviously, they won't have Cam Mooney all the time, but they're looking dangerous. But what does it mean for Clarence? Looks like now it's going to be really hard to get that top spot. Doesn't look like they're going to get Brendan Savage back, which is going to be probably the big man department is the one area that they're falling down in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Savage is the one, especially against Burnie. I mean, we saw when they knocked off Burnie over at Bellerive a couple of weeks ago that he was the one who nullified Jason Laycock. And when Burnie beat them in the final last year, he wasn't there, and neither was Greg Sharman. Obviously, Sharman not there now. So without Brendan Savage, I think he's their most important player, and they could struggle come finals, especially if they've got to take on Burnie to really try and match the height of Laycock when he comes back, and even someone like an Andrew Lee.
And the other game we had was on Saturday, where South Launceston had a massive win over Hobart. Hobart would have given themselves a sneaky chance to record their first victory, but looks like they're going to go through the season without a win now.
Yeah, very disappointing. I guess it was the one game that their last chance really, and then the form and South Launceston just blew them away. No Mitch Thorpe, no Bart McCulloch. You would have thought that might have tilted things in the Tigers' favour on their home turf, but disappointing season, and then with all the licence stuff going on, it sort of makes you wonder how they could possibly even be in the running, I guess, to get that licence given their on-field performances.
Yeah, it may be the way things are going. I mean, the change could happen next year, and we might have seen Hobart's last win in the last game of last season as that entity.
Yeah, absolutely, and that'll be disappointing if that's the way it pans out, because the way they finished the season last year against Lauderdale, I know they lost a lot of players, but they were really exciting that day. So if we don't see them again after this season and they do go through winless, well, that'll be disappointing for all the Tiger faithful.
Yeah, good signs for South Launceston though. First time in the TSL they've recorded 5 wins. They're not going to make the finals this year, but it shows that they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Mitchell Thorpe's done a wonderful job, and if he didn't go down injured, who knows, they probably could have chalked up a few more and maybe have been knocking on the door for finals. So another 12 months under their belt and those kids will improve, and if they can maybe pick up another 1 or 2 senior players from around the NTFA region, they could be knocking on the door in the coming years.
They've got a bye this week and they play Devonport the week after, so that could be 6 wins, which will be double the wins from last season. So they've ticked all the right boxes.
Absolutely, and I think Mitchell Thorpe would have taken that at the start of the year.
And touched on the licences. Today's a big day where North Hobart are submitting theirs. It's getting quite murky, confusing, a lot of emotion involved. That was always going to happen. Now we just have to sit back and wait for the decision, I suppose.
Yeah, you keep reading everything about all these people coming out and having a crack at Scott Wade and AFL Tas about it, whether it's justified or not. Everybody's got their own opinion, but now the licensing, that's probably only the half of the battle really, isn't it? I think the next couple of weeks until a decision's made, things will continue to bubble along as they have been, and it'll be an interesting decision whichever way the league decides to go.
Yeah, by all reports, Hobart got their nose in front. It's really interesting following the two campaigns. Hobart have been really quiet, got everything about their business behind the scenes, trying to tick every box that's required. North Hobart have sort of gone head to head with AFL Tas and trying to get the public on side, which I think they've probably been fairly successful on that point, but it's interesting to see what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, I guess you generally don't come out on the right side when you go head to head with AFL Tasmania, but they've got a case. Hobart's got their case. You don't want to speculate on what could be. You hear so much around the traps of what's going on, so I think we'll just wait and see what happens in the coming weeks.
Adam, thanks very much for your thoughts. Remember, for your TSL stories, pick up your copy of the Mercury or go to the Mercury online.